This is Sky News Today with Wilfred Frost. It's 10 o'clock. Your headlines. Torture and torment. A Sky News investigation exposes the detention centres in Ukraine where residents were beaten and electrocuted by Russian forces. Cracking down on crime in the capital, the London mayor meets police this morning after a 15-year-old girl was stabbed to death on her way to school yesterday. Hope for homeowners as the average 5-year fixed-rate mortgage dips below 6% for the first time since July. Back on home soil, a soldier detained by North Korea after dashing across the border is returned to US custody. Labour U-turn to Keir Starmer backtracks on plans to end the charitable status of private schools in England. And villages are evacuated and cities left without power as fresh floods hit swathes of central Greece. A very good morning to you. We start today with a special year-long investigation exposing a campaign of torture and torment carried out by Russian forces on Ukrainian people in the city of Kherson. Independent investigators have identified a network of at least 26 detention centres in the region, and Sky News has spoken to 15 people, each with similar heartbreaking stories of the treatment they endured. Sky's data and forensics correspondent Tom Cheshire has this report for us and a warning. It contains descriptions of torture.
Her first morning in the detention centre, Olga Cherniak was taken blindfolded down this corridor and made to stand outside a room with an open door. Despite its peach-coloured blandness, it was a torture chamber, and her son was inside. She recognised him by his screams.
The door was like this, and I was put there, against the wall, and I stood and listened to how they tortured my child. He was being beaten with electricity, he was crying a lot, and he asked them to stop. He said he would tell them everything they wanted.
Then it was her turn. The Russians applied electric shocks until she passed out. When she came to, they started again. This was the detention centre on Teplino-Hertikov Street in Kherson, southwest Ukraine. Svetlana Shakailo was also kept there.
Every day. There was not a single day without shouting, moaning, crying, begging to stop. This was in the cellar, outside, in the rooms. We heard all of this. And we realized they heavily tortured our guys who got there.
Olga and Svetlana met inside. They would be detained for 280 days. 9 months, but years' worth in the physical toll. Their friendship kept them alive. The Russians occupied Kherson for some 7 months. During that time, they constructed a network of detention centres. This was where Olga and Svetlana were kept. There are another 5 in the city centre, and 26 in total throughout the wider Kherson region, mapped by the Media Initiative for Human Rights, a Ukrainian NGO. Sky News has worked with them as part of a year-long investigation into war crimes in the region. We spoke to 15 detainees, using official documents and open-source imagery to verify their accounts. What they describe is a systematic campaign of torture.
As soon as you have war crimes being committed within a widespread or systematic attack on a civilian population, you are well within the territory of crimes against humanity, and that's what happened in Kherson.
Olga eventually returned to Kherson. She went back to the detention centre and sent us these videos of the walls, the cells, where she endured the unendurable. We asked the Russian government to comment on our allegations, but received no response. Now free, Olga and Svetlana still lean on each other, just as they did in captivity. In the morning, they text each other.
We do it every day. We don't forget.
Svetlana sends me a good morning, and I put a heart.
These people, our family has just become larger. People we communicated with whom we survived all of this tragedy. I said that they are our family.
Tom Cheshire, Sky News.
Well, coming up later in the programme and throughout the day here on Sky News, you can see the full report from Tom Cheshire. We'll bring you that at 10:30, as well as the other times listed on screen and into the evening. Well, happening right now in Ukraine, the Defence Secretary Grant Shapps is on a visit to the country's capital, Kiev, a month into his new job as Defence Secretary. He's been meeting with President Zelensky, who's appealing for help to strengthen air defences in his country's war with Russia. Grant Shapps has already visited Kiev once this month in his previous role as Energy and Net Zero Secretary, although that visit now looks like a precursor to being made Defence Secretary, really. Now, staying with our coverage of the war in Ukraine, and Sky News has been recognised at this year's Emmys.
And the 2023 International Emmy News Award goes to The Battle for Bucha and Urban.
The Ukrainian people.
Our team picked up the International Emmy Award for our reporting of the Battle of Bucha and Irpin in the early stages of Russia's invasion. Our coverage included our special correspondent Alex Crawford on the ground in Irpin as trapped civilians fled the bombardment, as well as reporting from our chief correspondent Stuart Ramsey as he was injured during an ambush in Bucha. Huge congratulations to them and the entire team. Now, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, is meeting police and members of the community after a 15-year-old girl was stabbed to death in Croydon yesterday. The 17-year-old's in custody and was reportedly known to local groups working to combat youth violence. Well, earlier, we spoke to youth campaigner and pastor Lorraine Jones, who issued a call for help in dealing with knife crime.
You can't imagine the scale of fear and anxiety with our young girls. We used to be fearful of our boys. Now it's increased our girls. Girls are being stopped on the street as well. What area are you from? Mothers are telling me, we need help. I've lost my son. I know what she's going through. I pray that she survives this, and she can if she looks at me as a mother. I know the father's going through pain too. I've got countless mothers. When this happened, if you saw my phone, Kate, other mothers that have lost their children saying, Pastor Lorraine, it's happened again, it's happened again. They're not strong like me, but I've given my everything to work with the police, to work with the council, to work with the mayor, to work with the government. I'm influential. I've got the churches that are just there, but we need help so that we can deal with those that are most vulnerable.
Sky's Shaman Freeman-Powell joins us live now from Croydon in South London. Our political correspondent Mario Roy is also with us in Westminster. Mario, we'll get the political reaction in just a moment, but Shaman, first of all, 24 hours or so on. Tell us what the mood is like there.
Well, it's 24 hours on, but you could hear the emotion, couldn't you, in that clip? And I think partly it's because we're talking about a child here, a 15-year-old girl who had the rest of her life ahead of her, and we've been told was in her GCSE year. She was known to have a great sense of humour, and sadly her life ended yesterday morning at 8:30 a.m. after police responded to reports that she had been stabbed. And it was on this busy road in the centre of Croydon. Would have been travelling to go to work yesterday at 8:30 a.m. when this incident happened, where that 15-year-old girl, the 15-year-old victim, was travelling on the bus behind me to go to the Old Palace of John Whitgift School, a private school here in Croydon. Now, police say that they arrived to the scene minutes after the incident took place yesterday morning, but sadly, despite the best efforts of members of the public and emergency services, the girl did lose her life close to where the incident happened. Earlier on, the Met Police confirmed that they have arrested a 17-year-old boy who is believed to have been known to the victim. He hasn't yet been named, but they say that he is still being held for questioning and that they are not looking for any other suspects at this time. As for the mood around here today, there's lots of signs hung around, signs that say are urging members of the community to stop youth violence violence in this area. There's been lots of people stopping to look at that sign, as well as laying flowers and paying tribute to that 15-year-old girl as well. Yesterday, Sky News spoke to Anthony King. He's a community leader local to this area. He has a charity which is set up to actually end youth violence in Croydon. He said that he had spoken to the family, who were devastated at the loss of their 15-year-old girl, and also commented on the fact that the 17-year-old boy, who is currently being held for questioning, was known to local community groups in the area for a few years. He also spoke about how the family were devastated and how she had her whole life ahead of her, and how worrying this is for local communities, not just here in Croydon but all over London, as this death yesterday is believed to be adding to 16 people, 16 teenagers who have lost their lives around the capital. So whilst this community is dealing with the grief and the mourning of the death of that 15-year-old girl, there's going to be lots of questions now being asked about how to end youth violence in the capital and across the country.
Shimon, thanks so much for that. And let's get some of the political reaction now as well from Mari Aurora. And Mari, we heard just earlier from the interview with the pastor there with Kay Burley that clearly some of the focus will be turning towards the Mayor of London.
Yes, exactly, Wilfred. That's what's really interesting now, is there's a kind of political row that has started to bubble up in kind of reaction in relation to the death of that 15-year-old girl. So this morning, Richard Holden, who is a Tory Transport Minister, he talked about how he felt that actually Sadiq Khan needed to be focusing more on crime, knife crime, in the capital, and less on issues such as ULEZ. He said that the mayor had been distracted by issues such as ULEZ. He said that the Met Police Commissioner needed political support and more political focus from Sadiq Khan, and really kind of insinuating that perhaps Sadiq Khan in some way is responsible, or in part responsible, for the death of this young girl. Now, we also heard from Richard Holden on a range of different issues, but take a look at what Richard Holden actually said about Sadiq Khan.
The flip-flopping around ULEZ and things like that. I think what we should be focusing on is things which really affect people in the city, and the Mayor of London, as essentially the Police and Crime Commissioner for neighbourhood crime in London, should really be focused on that. I think if it was me, one of my main sole focuses at the moment would be very much on crime. We've seen some real issues in London, particularly with violent crime, particularly amongst young people. I don't want to see that getting out of control. I want to see those numbers coming down. And I think if I was the mayor, that would be my sole focus at the moment.
You see there Richard Holden really heavily criticising the London mayor in the aftermath of the death of that young 15-year-old girl. And also on the breakfast show this morning, Ellie Reeves, a shadow minister and the sister of Rachel Reeves for the Labour Party, she blamed central government, saying that actually Sadiq Khan was unable to do everything potentially he wants to do in the job because of cuts from central government, trying to put the blame back again on the Conservative Party. Now, Sadiq Khan has issued a statement via his spokesperson in relation to Richard Holden's comments. I'm going to read you some of that statement, which reads, it's very disappointing that a government minister seems to think an appalling incident like this is the time for political point scoring. Londoners can be reassured that there are extra police patrols in the area, and the mayor urges anyone with any further information to call the police on 101 or the charity Crime Stoppers anonymously. Sadiq has pledged to continue working day and night to end the scourge of violence against women and girls and knife crime in our city. So as you see there, London Mayor Sadiq Khan really accusing Richard Holden of playing politics at a time when, as far as he's concerned, it should be about focusing on safety and obviously sympathies with the young girl's family. Now, the real question is, will this continue to bubble up? Will this continue to roll on into the day if there's a political debate about who is to blame for the death of that young girl?
Mari, thanks so much for that. And in fact, we can bring you some news on the victim now, who has been named locally, first name only, but the 15-year-old who was tragically killed yesterday has been named locally as Eliana. Of course, as we heard in the full reports there from both Mari and before that from Shaman, someone who was framed as having a great sense of humour and a much loved member of the local community, named as Eliana. Lots more still to come on that story throughout the day. The Mayor of London will be joining us later too. Now, the interest rate on the average 5-year fixed mortgage has dropped below 6% for the first time in nearly 3 months. According to the financial website MoneyFacts, the average 5-year fixed rate mortgage is now 5.99%. That's down from an average of 6.03% reported yesterday. Today's rate is the lowest since July the 3rd, when a 5-year fixed rate mortgage stood at 5.97%. Our business presenter Ian King in the city. Ian, great news, of course, this headline coming out of MoneyFacts. Clearly still 6% we're talking about or thereabouts. And on top of that, people should shop around now because there's getting to be a much bigger range between what people are offering, even if this average, according to MoneyFacts, has just fallen below 6.
Yeah, that's right. There are more mortgage products coming back onto the market now. And I think what you've seen in the market over the last week, certainly since the inflation figures came in unexpectedly low last week, or certain market was looking for 7.1, we got 6.8, 6.7, we actually got a drop. And obviously a week ago today, the Bank of England decided not to raise interest rates, the first time they'd hit the pause button in 15 meetings. And that's really started to show up in the mortgage market. And interestingly, Wilf, you've seen one or two of the major players in the mortgage lending market starting to come up with more competitive offers and cutting mortgage rates this week. Most notably HSBC and Santander. Santander, the Old Abbey National, of course, the UK's fourth largest mortgage lender right now. So some key movements there, and that's what's contributed to drive these rates lower. Worth pointing out, of course, the bigger your deposit, the less you will have to pay, and that's certainly true on some of these 5-year fixes.
And Ian, just quickly tell us about this update from the National Grid. It's maybe not outright positive, but less negative.
Yeah, I mean, on the whole, it's pretty good news, Wilf. This is the National Grid Electricity System Operator, which is the part of the National Grid that balances supply and demand for electricity across the grid. It's put out its winter outlook today, and it's essentially saying that it has some 4.4 gigawatts worth of power on hand if it needs to call on that if there are supply shortages. That accounts for around 7.4% of total capacity in the network. That's up from 6.3% last year. So essentially, the National Grid says this means there is less likelihood of potential power cuts or blackouts than there was winter last year. However, it is not ruling out asking households and businesses to moderate their electricity consumption at peak times. There were some 1.6 million homes and businesses last year paid a total of £11 million to moderate their consumption at peak times. And National Grid ESO is saying that may have to happen again this year.
Ian, great stuff. Thanks so much. And also some really fascinating move in US interest rates over the last couple of days. I know Ian will be covering that on Business Live at 11:30 and returning as well to Sky News Today to discuss it with me tomorrow. Now, a US soldier who ran across the border in North Korea just over 2 months ago has arrived back to the United States after he was expelled. Private Travis King from Wisconsin was the first American confirmed to have been detained in North Korea in 5 years. Well, our Asia correspondent Helen Ann Smith joins me now. Helen Ann, a fascinating story. Please summarise the key points for us, but also, is there an element here of North Korea wanting to work with the US and the two collaborating or not?
It really is a fascinating story, and the developments today were pretty unexpected and actually rather remarkable. Around 8:30 a.m. UK time, the middle of the night in America, we saw those pictures of Private Travis King getting off that flight onto American soil. He's not handcuffed, he's walking relatively freely. He is flanked by a number of people who are clearly part of the US Army. But his whole demeanour there looks pretty relaxed. And we know that from there he's going to go to the Brooke Army Medical Center in Texas. He's going to have checks over. And it's very possible as well he will be reunited with his family. But look, there are a huge amount of questions that remain over this story that broke first in July Korean has been the subject of huge intrigue and curiosity. Private King was a soldier, US soldier, serving in South Korea, but he had run into some difficulty. He'd just finished serving a prison sentence in South Korea. He'd been accused of assault, and he had been taken to the airport by members of the US Army, from where he was meant to fly back to the States to face further disciplinary action. From there, he somehow managed to circumvent those US Army officials. He joined a tourist tour that went up to the border between North and South Korea, and there are pictures of him there on the tour with other tourists, and from there, according to eyewitnesses, he made this concerted dash across the border. We still don't really know why. The North Koreans, for their part, they say it was because he faced maltreatment and racism from within the US Army. That's a little hard to verify. Certainly his family, talking to our partners at NBC and others, say that it was rather out of character and that he had faced a difficult time in the army. But I think the other question is why the North Koreans have let him go so soon, really, because previously, if US citizens have been held in North Korea, they've been held a very, very long time. Many experts speculating that this would have huge propaganda value for them. They may want to coerce certain things out of the United States, but it seems not. And it seems that the North Koreans have actually worked with the Americans on this, albeit with intermediary help from the Swedish, who have an embassy in Pyongyang, and the Chinese, because he actually crossed into China first before going back to America. So quite an unusual display of diplomacy between these countries that really have, certainly in recent months, had a lot of animosity between them, and that will be the cause of some comfort. But look, Private Travis King has some challenges ahead of him. He may still face disciplinary action from the army because he's been declared officially AWOL, but certainly I think from the American authorities' perspective, certainly from his family's perspective, today will be a huge relief.
Helen Ann, thanks so much. Helen Ann Smith for us there. You're watching Sky News today. Lots more still to come. Floods, power outages and gale force winds. Ireland battered by Storm Agnes. We'll go there live for a report next. And Labour accused of a U-turn on private schools. We'll get the latest.
The economy.
Health. Security.
Education. Immigration. Stability.
Cost of living.
Our futures. Whatever the issues facing you, we want to find out what's really going on in the UK. We will always put people at the heart of the story on the UK Tonight with me, Sarah Jane Mee, on Sky News.
I'm Katie Spencer and I'm Sky News' arts and entertainment correspondent. When you think of Glastonbury, it's mud you want and music. They're going to cross to us live in a minute.
Okay. We always were capable of doing this.
Oh, they're wonderful children as an audience.
Who did that? Maverick here on the red carpet. I'm so excited. Hello. We take you to the heart of the stories that shape our world.
Nor have I ever struck any woman in my life.
There's this illusion of power.
Are you feeling well?
I remember covering the Oscars and that now infamous moment, the Will Smith slap. You can tell from these crowds just how excited people are for the return of Pride.
These actors playing the lead roles were born long after the Sex Pistols broke up.
As a team, we've interviewed some of the biggest stars in the world.
Okay, I'll talk to you.
Don't leave me.
Yeah, okay.
There's no easy goodies. There's no easy baddies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Welcome back. Storm Agnes hit yesterday, bringing strong winds and heavy rain to Ireland and parts of the UK. Ireland was struck first with fierce waves seen crashing against sea defences in coastal towns. Some areas of the country experienced power outages with high winds ripping up power cables and bringing down trees. Well, I'm joined now by our island correspondent, Stephen Murphy. Yesterday, Stephen, I spoke a little bit too soon, and you were definitely in the process of being battered on the western coast. I'm not sure I'm speaking too soon today to say it looks a fair amount calmer.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer circumstances in which we're coming to you today, that's for sure. I mean, there is still a fairly significant clean-up operation going on, particularly in the south and western coastal regions of Ireland, but the weather warnings have now been lifted here in Ireland, although there are several high wind weather warnings still in operation in coastal waters surrounding the Irish coast. And we know that yesterday the RNLI had to rescue a lone sailor in a vessel off Clare Island off the west coast of Ireland. We also know, for example, in Northern Ireland, in Draperstown in County Derry or Londonderry, a woman was caught up in flooding. Her car became submerged in a river and the firefighters there had to smash a window and pull her out. So we did see a number of close calls, but I think essentially today authorities are breathing a sigh of relief that the first named storm of the season swept through with gusts of more than 110 kilometres per hour recorded, and that's significant. It can cause a lot of structural damage. We saw a roof torn off a building in Youghal in County Cork. We saw trees down all over the eastern part of Ireland yesterday when we were filming there, and currently around 2,000 customers woke up this morning without power. That spread across homes and businesses, so we know that there are many county council crews and ESB networks, that's the electricity utility crews, out throughout today to get the power to those homes and businesses restored, and they will have to contend with some wind and rain a bit later on today. But overall, I think it is very much a case of the calm after the storm as Agnes has passed through now.
Stephen, great stuff. Thanks so much. We're going to have a quick look at the weather now here for the whole of the UK in the day ahead.
Warm memories wherever you go. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Well, Storm Agnes has cleared away largely. The outlook, though, remains unsettled with gusty winds and rain at times. Today will be cooler than recently with a brisk wind for many, especially across the north. Many places will be dry with bright or sunny spells, but there'll be some rain in the west. That rain will become more extensive across Ireland, Northern Ireland and Western Scotland with heavy downpours likely. South Wales and southwest England will see rain as well, but most other places will stay dry into the evening.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
You're watching Sky News today. Coming up, a year-long Sky News investigation. Our full report on the torture being used by Russian forces to destroy resistance in Ukraine.
Milk chocolate beyond words. Classic recipe by Lindt. Now with caramel sea salt.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out.
He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my match, Miss Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that?
Myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Check me out. He tells me my energy is making him tired.
Yes!
How do you get the energy to do
I've been told that I have a lot of energy, but my goodness, I think today I have met my match, people. I have met my matchless Suzanne. Wow, amazing.
One of the things that's the start of the darkness. Of darkness.
So what did that
myself and the world will adjust. And 2019.
Forget the proverbial boardroom. Join me, Simone Frazier, on the CEO, the program that gives you the driving seat over your life. Every Tuesday, 8 p.m. only on Starr Radio.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and intact? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination intact. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you get by. If you smile through your fear and sorrow, smile and maybe tomorrow you find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Hey, this is Archie and you are listening to Starr Radio UK and the Morning Show.
This is Starr Radio. This is
UK.
Starr Radio
UK.
This is Starr Radio
UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio.
Okay, listeners, let me say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth, and those of you on other planets as well. We want to salute each and every one of you and welcome you to the Thursday edition of the morning show. Today is the 28th day of September, the year 2023. Time now 10:44 from the hearts of London. Let me sincerely apologize for the late start of the program once again, but my able producer started the program right on time. It's me getting into the studio because of the stabbing that took place yesterday here in Croydon. It's still affecting the travels. The roads are still blocked and cutting off, and therefore traveling to this part of Croydon makes it very, very difficult. But whatever it is, yes, I'm here this morning and you are there as well. Let me say welcome on board. Let me say good morning to my team this morning, Mr. Olayomi, Koiki, and Mr. Francis Guy, my able producer. Good morning to Mr. Frank Davis in town as well. My brother Felix all the way in Aberdeen. Massive good morning to you. Kojodi, good morning to you. Let's say good morning to Olakunle. Yes, Shamsuddin Oladipopo. Good morning to you. Good morning to Bishop Adeshina. Anthony Adedeji Aziz. Massive good morning to you. Olakunle, good morning. Pastor Mo, good morning. Pastor Emmanuel Chidi, good morning to you. Well, I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
So from now till 12:30, I'm going to be bringing you the morning show, and this is how the program will go. All protocol observed, of course. Now, Rachel, yes, Rachel, good morning to you. I hope you are doing very well. All of you. Well, I'm going to bring you the quote for the day, the weather forecast will follow suit, then the travel update will follow from then. We'll look at some of the stories making the rounds across the globe. It's known as Global Trotting. And at 11 o'clock, we'll bring you updates from Nigeria with Mr. Olayomi Koiki. We then continue from then and look at some of the other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. 12 o'clock, the lines are open for you to add your voice to the discussions. And at 12:30 exactly, I'll bring the curtains down for the end of the program. But before the lines are open at 12 o'clock, if you have any comments or anything that you want to say on all the platforms that we are broadcasting, or you can put your comments there, and I promise you one thing for sure, I'm going to read that as well. So as Shamsuddin says, God bless Yoruba Nation, now. He said, God bless you all, and God bless you too, Shamsuddin. Good morning to our money man, Mr. Dan Tabiri, CEO of GR Accountancy Services, and all the girls, my girls. Yes, massive good morning to you. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Mrs. Evelyn Tabiri, Ajwa, Abena, Asida, and Ishira. Okay, and all my youth in Bible Life Family Ministries, both here and those of you in Milton Keynes as well. Salute each and every one of you. I hope you are doing good.
For you runs deep. All of you.
Okay, so let's crack on at 10:47. The quote for the day says, you can have a good time. Yes, of course. But if you do that at the expense of your future, you will pay for it. It is your choice. So what are you doing? You want to be sleeping? You want to be chilling out while you have to get up and do something? What about that? You have the opportunities to do any work, please get on and do it. All right then, Starr Radio UK.
Same for now, yesterday, and forevermore.
Now let's move on straight to the weather front. Let me tell you what is happening on the weather front this morning. Well, when it comes to the weather front this morning, cloud cover will become a little thicker in the afternoon, and the odd isolated shower is possible in places. A less windy day expected as well. This evening we'll see cloud cover become overcast, and into the night a few light spells of rain will move in. This will clear for a time, but towards dawn some showers will develop. Top temperature is going to be 20 degrees and the lowest is going to be 16 degrees. UV level is going to be moderate and pollution is going to be low. Sunset is going to be at 18:46 and sunrise for tomorrow morning is going to be at 06:56 hours. And that brings us to the end of the weather forecast. It's Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Are you Lord? Great are you, Lord. Let's take a quick commercial break and I'll bring you all that you need to know when it comes to the all of you makes my heart travel updates.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Okay, so on your travels this morning, this is how the weather, the travels are like. Those of you in Croydon, please avoid the Wellesley Road. Yeah, don't go that way. So from if you're traveling from Wellington to Croydon, the overpass and everything around the Fairfields and all that, the roundabout, that place is chock-a-block. So please avoid that route. And then if you're traveling via the Mitcham Road as well, until you get to get into the Lombard roundabout, then the traffic eases. But if you want to do your way across into the London Road via the Seminar Road, please avoid that as well. It's all chock-a-blocked. All right then. But on the side, the major roads in London, A316, A4, Central London Red Roads, and then South Circular A205 have all got serious delays. It's the Starr Radio UK. On the underground this morning, the district line has got minor delays between Parsons Green and Wimbledon, while they fix the signal failure at Wimbledon Park. Good service on the rest of the line. London Overground, good service. DLR, good service. London Tramlin, good service there. And that takes us straight to the river bars as well. On the river bars this morning, the Woolwich Trail has got reduced service. All the others have got good service. The London Cable Car is also running a good service there as well. Which brings us straight to the final segment of the travel update. That is the National Rail. So on the National Rail this morning, C2C has got minor delays and ScotRail has got special service. So let me say it once again. All of you. Say it loud. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep your eyes on the roads.
And that's what makes you great.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Starr Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Okay, fire on the mountain. Yes. Let me bring you or take you now to Global Trotting. So wherever you are, don't tag the dial. Starr Radio UK. So what is happening on your travels? This apologies on the news that is making the rounds this morning. When it comes to Nigeria, food prices jumped by 31%, says the NBS. So what is government going to do about it? Chicago academic record, Atiku plans fresh suit against Tinubu. Now, if it happens that Tinubu actually has lied about his qualification, should I put it that way? Yes. And he's been using that for his, when he became the governor for the Lagos state and then now vying for president. What do you think should happen to him? So, well, that means he's been lying under oath, right? That he is that, maybe he's not, or maybe, I don't know, but what is wrong? I mean, well, if you want to go to my alma mater or contact any of the institutions that I've been with to find out whether I've got this qualification or have the details of my results and, I mean, what, the transcript and stuff, like, yeah, you can have it. It is me. But when people become cagey, then you find out that, well, they got something to hide. So has Tinubu got something to hide? We'll tell you more about that. And then AFCON, Morocco to host in 2025, and Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania in 2027. Well, we hope that there is funds enough there for them to organize those tournaments. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on straight. Let's just a couple of other stories from the Nigerian front, and then moving on straight to the African other parts of Africa as well. Just stay tuned, don't go away. Now, Kwankwaso, serial loser, prefers to be king in hell. That's what Ganduje is saying. And Afenifere accuses Obasanjo of ridiculing Obas and demands apology. Well, it's quite an interesting one. We will be looking at that. Some are calling Obasanjo enemy of the Yoruba nation or the Yoruba group. But what do you think? NAF jet strikes suspected IPOP ESN hideouts in Anambra and Imo. Yesterday we were talking about it. I thought that they would be having a JoJo instead, or using the carrot and a stick approach rather than just going all gun blazing. And then, so what should we expect? I mean, that is going to be, you are pushing the people to that corner, I mean, doing everything, and they will also do everything possible to also make their point also heard. So what about that? Okay, DSS arrest Shiites spokesman Musa. We'll be telling you more about all that as the program unfolds, but wherever you are, Starr Radio UK. Right Livelihood Award, a Kenyan and a Ghanaian among laureates. The Kenyan environmental activist Phyllis Omido and a Ghanaian diplomat and trained physician Eunice Brookman Amiza were awarded the Right Livelihood Awards. That's 2023 one. Yes, we'll be telling you more about it. And France former envoy to Niger returns to Paris after weeks of tension. France's ambassador to Niger landed in Paris on Wednesday, September 27, after weeks of tensions with the post-coup regime, the French Foreign Ministry has said. Well, somebody said that, well, they are in their country and they call the shots. You are colonial masters. You invaded their territory. They want you out and they want you out. And so what? Well, several parties condemn Janta's unilateral move that's pertaining to elections there. And yes, Pan-Africanist activist Kemi Seba has arrived in Niamey. It's one of the stories making the rounds since last month. Eswatini readies for vote seen as contest between monarchy and opposition. What's going to happen there? And in Gabon, US suspends aid after military takeover. Well, you know, they like looking at their own personal parochial interests, not the interests of the majority of the people. And that is what we seem to be seeing. And our leaders, our leadership cannot wake up and smell that coffee. They think that, well, the white man is there too. I mean, oh, he's supporting, he's our friend. Nah. It doesn't work that way. They have permanent interests, not permanent friends. So when you're playing the ball, yes, they say that players love you when you are playing. So whilst you are playing, you are their friend. The moment you stop playing, you are no more their friend. And that seems to be exactly what is going on. So they'll say, you have to reinstate whoever they took. Meanwhile, when the person was causing or doing harm to his people, they wouldn't say anything about that. Why? Because the person is singing or dancing to their tune. What about that? Well, it is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. MPP chairman was disingenuous in his comment. I never told him all was well. Alan Chermantin has come back to react to that statement there. What do you think? Well, is there hope for that breaking the 8 over? Or do you think they can still break the 8? Which I doubt. But if Ghanaian, well, let me just leave, because I don't know if like Kufuor during his time when he was campaigning to become president said that look at your way of life, and if you think that it's improved under the tenure of the government then, or the party then go vote for them. And we saw that it was different. People looked into their lives and thought, no, we think we deserve better. So that's what's going on. Well, the CJ has stopped Supreme Court Court of Appeal registrar from allocating dates. Dates for what? I'll be telling you more about all that. I was sacked from Kufuor's government because I supported Nanado against Alan. Boniface Gambila is saying. So they try to say that the Kufuor camp doesn't like that Nana camp, and that is why Alan Chermantin has to be shown the door. Is it? Yeah. Young Policing Initiative. Please visit St. John's, the Evangelist Church. School where they have a bit of interaction between the IGP and the students there. And then 100% increase in dialysis charges at Kolebu, unacceptable, Akando is saying. Well, lots more going to be coming your way from there. Well, because our leadership are able to go to other parts of the world, our advanced countries, to go and seek treatment, well, they don't. They look down on us, right? Somebody say right. Okay, it's already okay. A distress call to the BBC led to a rescue of 6 women trapped in a lorry. A woman spoke to us from inside a refrigerated lorry in France, saying they were struggling to breathe, and that was what helped them save their lives. And Evergrande shares halted as pressure mounts on firm. The stricken Chinese property giant suspends trading as reports emerge of its chairman being taken. And then Travis King arrives back on US soil from North Korea. It's one of the stories making the rounds. And Taiwan unveils new submarine to fend off China. Well, at times, you know, I ask myself the question that, is it, if I have something, do I have to come and fly and say, you know, I've got an atomic bomb, I'm going to do that? No. I'd rather be quiet, unassuming, a thing that I've not got it. And then once you come and attack me and you see what I've got, all right? Yeah, at times, though, you going all out, gun blazing and making all that noise, make people think like what North Korea is doing, think that, whoa, this one is also a force to be reckoned with, and therefore they look at you differently. But if that is what is happening, well, good luck to them. Well, Starr Radio UK. Now, police officers widely misusing body-worn cameras. It was hoped video will increase transparency in policing, but BBC has uncovered 150 reports of failings. But, you know, I need to activate it. Okay, so if I decide not to activate it, I tell you that it won't bunker. So after I've done whatever before I activate it, you got it? Okay. Soon as dodges questions over future of HS2 rail, the speculation is mounting. The government could delay or scrap the second leg of the line to Manchester. Starr Radio UK and Lineker report. Big name BBC presenter outside news can share view online on politically contentious issues but can't campaign on party politics. That's a good one for him there. And millions wrongly believe they have penicillin allergy. How do we know that you have penicillin allergy? And then the sad story that happened yesterday. A teen has been held is being held over killing of a much loved and jovial schoolgirl. The girl was stabbed in the neck with a foot-long knife on her way to school. And I've been telling people that if it's my daughter, boy oh boy, the boy and his family should be, but they should brace themselves, because I wouldn't let it go. But what do you think? I want to know. I want to have your take. Now, when it comes to our children, the stop and search issue that's going on, we are saying that, well, it's all targeted against our children, the blacks, or the minority, and therefore we don't want that. Meanwhile, assuming there was a stop and search, and then this boy was found out and the knife taken off him, I don't think this girl would have died. But because of that, and again, when the police stops you, okay, they say stop. You stop. I've not got anything on me, unless of course I've got something that will actually make me, they see me as a criminal or something of the sort. Then I'll behave unruly or something. So when you say I stop. Show me that, I show you that. You want to search my pocket, you search my pocket. But I know that there are some police officers who are racist, who are, let me put it, the bigots, all right? I know there are some of them, but there are some who are truly, selfless, and they are doing the job as they're supposed to do. So how do we, match both and to make sure that our community that suffers most is protected? Lots more going to be coming your way. I'm going to have Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates. But now, let's enjoy this music, and I will continue with the show. This is from Pastor Theodore Boachiansa, and it says, "You reign." Who reigns? God reigns. Enjoy it, and I'll be with you. Stay tuned.
Seasons come and go.
Caribbean radio station in the UK.
Smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 7 minutes by the top of the hour. You Rain by Pastor Tudora Boachi and Sound, all the way in Oxfordshire. Pearly Gates Church, and I salute each and every one of you there as well. But it is the Thursday edition of the morning show, and I've had the singular honor to welcome once again my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Just bear with me. I seem not to be seeing him, but just bear with me. I'll be working on that. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time to what? 8 minutes past the top of the hour. And let's take a quick commercial break whilst I get Yomi's screen on. So just bear with me, don't you go away.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedase.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go from Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Are you looking for the fast? Okay, listeners, just bear with me. We're going to just do something. Yomi, just a minute. I'm going to restart something, so just bear with me, all right? Your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time. You are not sure. Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820, or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Okay, listeners, just bear with us. Let's see whether we can get Yomi's image back on. There seem to be a few incidents here and there, but just bear with me. Just bear with me. Let me just try to see whether I can get Mr. Olayomi Koiki now. Okay, let's see. Okay, whilst the system is trying to reboot there, let's see what's happening. Okay, just bear with us. All right. Okay. I think he will definitely call us back. It's not available, so he will definitely call us back. But wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't touch the dial. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, when it comes to the issues that we're going to be discussing this morning, food prices jumped by 31%, says the NBS. What the NBS? We're telling you more about what their moves are, or what they are doing, and why they reckon that having that percentage rise in food prices is actually affecting Nigerians as a whole. But what do you think? We want to know what you actually think about this particular situation. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, on the Thursday edition of the morning show. I am Archie, and just bear with us. So let's see whether we can get Yomi now. Okay, whilst we wait for Yomi, let's take this quick social announcement and then we go on. The family, the Christian community, friends and loved ones of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako wishes to invite friends and loved ones and all sympathizers to a one-week observation at the Numa Christian Center, 87 Beddington Lane, Croydon, postcode CR040D. The event will take place on Friday, the 6th of October, 2023 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Buses 466 and 463 ply that route. And if you want to travel on a tram, Beddington Lane is a stop for you. Also, there's going to be free parking there. For further information, please contact Evelyn on 075 5483 8421, Kojo 073 7592 8737, or Sheila on 079 8358 1818. Come and mourn with us, even as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako. God bless you and see you all there. Hey, listeners, just bear with me. Yomi says he can't see me. And I'm having a challenge there trying to see him as well. But just bear with me. I don't know. But let's see whether he can hear me. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
So why is your image not showing? Oh yeah, my God. Okay. Let's go on whilst I get the team to be working behind the scenes. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki, bringing you updates from Nigeria. Yomi, how are you and how is the family?
Well, we're doing very well. The family is very well as well. We're grateful, and I hope yours are doing great as well.
Yeah. Doing great, but just worried about what happened yesterday here, the stabbings that took place, and it's a very sad one in the communities here. Traffic and all that stuff still going on. It's crazy, but well, it's one of those things. We thank God that we are still alive, though. Yes. Yesterday, let's go straight to the Niger Voices. It was another smash of a program, but for the sake of those who didn't join the program, can you please give a sneak view of what was discussed there, please?
Well, we talked about mostly focus on the NLC and the TUC 48 hours after the independent, which is coming up on Sunday. Nigeria will be on a complete shutdown because of the indefinite strike. That seems to be still going ahead. We're going to be talking about that a little bit this morning as well. But it seems that the president is not back to Nigeria. Maybe that is the reason why there is a kind of a delay between the NLC. So Niger Voices yesterday was more of asking the questions surrounding the Nigerian Labour Congress. Are they going to be fruitful this time around? We've seen that it hasn't been the Nigerian Labour Congress that most of us, grew up to see how active they've been. But it seems that this time around, we will have to see the test of time between the new administration. We went further to talk about some other areas when it comes to the new CBN. The new CBN has now been confirmed by the Senate. The question is, what is he going to do differently from Emefiele? Then we went straight into the self-determination of the indigenous people and the reason why the self-determination is still a push. And as we were waiting for the signal from the leader of the Yoruba self-determination campaign groups, Professor Banji Akintoye, he spoke yesterday, but even though we couldn't get the signal in time before we actually ended the program, but we will be giving more on that later on in the next program next week. But he spoke for about 30 minutes on the Yoruba World Media and also all other media from the Yoruba home-based media and the other independent media as well. But one of the message that I grabbed from the conversation yesterday while he was presenting, because many Nigerians are saying that the Yorubas are probably not really interested anymore as those that wanted the indigenous people to leave Nigeria because of the current administration, because it's from Southwest. I'm talking about the President Bola Tinubu, but the leader of the Yoruba self-determination insisted consistently that yes, Bola Tinubu has a right to be the president, but he hasn't been a president for the Yoruba people. He's a president for Nigeria. Communication will continue with the current administration, just like it was done with the previous administration. But the point that he actually stressed on, we are in this struggle to win. It does not matter how long it will take. Also, we talked about, the other woman that we brought onto the program on Niger Voices sometime around June, if I remember, Chief Mrs. Buduko Onitiri. She actually said she declared the Yoruba nation under a name called Uminira 2022. That again is a complete false, is a lie. And the reason for that is, in journalism, you should be able to differentiate who is telling lies as against who is actually giving you the right information. When we've asked her to give us the evidence of this declaration, all she has pointed us is we should go to the YouTube channel where it has been declared, and that is a fact that she has. They've also cooked up a particular story. Can you still hear me back in the studio?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, because my camera is freezing, that's why. She also went further to say that she sent an ambassador at large to the United Nations Completed General Assembly. When we went to do a cross-checking, the man that went there didn't talk about Ominira. He actually talked about a different name, but he hasn't attended the 78th General Assembly. He must have attended another event. United Nations, or the UN rather, is a big organization that has different events that been across the year. What the man known as Faleti Stephen went for was what we call the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and they've actually used that to tell the Yoruba people that they've actually declared, that he has gone to represent the Yoruba people. And just to finish it off, we talked about the Biafra, which we talked in the morning. What is Bola Tinubu going to do differently as Buhari and Osibajo that kidnapped and rendition in Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria? All these were part of what was packed up in the Niger Voices yesterday. But next week, we will continue again.
Well, listeners, my sincere apologies for you not seeing Yomi's face, but let's continue with the conversation whilst Mr. Francis Guy tries to work on that. Pastor Mo, let me say good morning to you. It's been quite a while, and I hope you are doing very, very well. God bless you too. All right then. Now, it's quite interesting pertaining to what was discussed pertaining to the NLC's indefinite strike. Whether we were asking whether it was a bluff, but has the government actually made any further move from what we saw them making? Because we know that the president is not in town. So what is going to happen then?
Well, you will expect that the president should be the one in charge. If the country is going on an indefinite strike, whatever he's doing in France, he must leave that and return back home. He has actually left the New York. The reason why he went out of Nigeria, he announced he was going to United Nations General Assembly, but because as African leaders, they try to hide a lot of things. We know that he has gone for medical treatment. It's just a fact. But these are not going to be told to Nigerians, just as Buhari spent so much time. The president was there as at the time, and then after the whole event, he stayed back. The question is, can the vice president handle, the situation between the NLC and also the federal government? Will Bola Tinubu, the president, return back in time? He has more time. It's currently in France. It's just less than 8 hours maximum to return back to Nigeria. So we hope it will be on the ground in time to resolve the current situation between the NLC and as well the federal government. But the headline this morning goes ahead and says the labor union has now again faulted the federal government meeting, insists on the indefinite strike.
So, well, if they are still insisting on the indefinite strike, then, well, we know that the president has to make his way home. But maybe he has trust in Shetima, that Shetima can see to resolve whatever thing that is going on. But I don't know. We've not seen him much in that particular office doing things like that yet. So we hope to see. But interestingly, the price of food has gone up by 31%. And this is a case where we're talking about individuals or Nigerian citizens that they don't have even the increment that they've got so far. Those who are working in the government sector, which now, virtually those who are also in the private sector look to either match it or whatever, have not had 31% increment in their wages. So how are people going to be able to cope with that? Yomi?
Well, when it comes to the high food prices in Nigeria today, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, Ebonyi and Abia State lead as food prices jump from 31% within 12 months. We're talking about from July last year to July this year. This is coming, according to the analysis of the Selected Food Price Watch. This is a report that is published monthly, basis by the National Bureau of Statistics. We're going to give you some data to work with for those that are listening to us. The selected food items include staples such as the rice, 1 bag, 1 kg, beans, 1 kg, bread, 500 grams, tomato, beefs, and wheat, 2 kg, gari, 1 kg, and the palm oil. According to the report, the highest food price increase was recorded in the price of yam, which actually jumped by 42% from 389 naira 75 kobo in 2022 July to now 539 naira 41 kobo in 2023. This was closely followed by the price of 1 kilogram of rice, which increased from 467 naira 80 kobo to 653 naira 49 kobo. The question is, how is this new administration going to slow down the cost of food prices that is going up continuously? Professor Banji Akintoye, the leader of the Yoruba, talked about many businesses. I didn't know that, but again, it's just the fact that we do not have enough of what we use to produce what we need. Cement is a lot of consumption for many builders around Nigeria, but there are some certain products that you need to bring into the country to make it become that cement and to be used and to be sold. The question is, according to the professor said yesterday, Nigerians are no longer guaranteed credit note from any other countries around the world when it comes to buying products outside. As the food price continues to go up, how is the government going to slow it down? Because already, remember that we talked about the World Bank last week saying that the problem between Nigeria and Niger means that 8 more million people will be added to the existing millions of Nigerians that are already in the poverty line.
Well, listeners, it's quite an interesting and a difficult time. Just bear with us. I'll send you me what is happening. I think there needs to be an update, but we can't do any update at the moment. If we do update, we stop the broadcast, so we'll have to just go on with that. Okay, so now, if have they those? I mean, the NBS who was making that analysis or bringing that information across. Now, what do they perceive are the causes of this food shortage?
Well, the causes varies. Remember that most of the farmers are struggling to get their produce out of the farm. If not, most of them, the farm produce have been damaged due to the insecurity. Benue State, there's a lot of problem from that side. In the northern part, there's the problem of the climate that is also having a big impact. But the biggest impact is due to the fact that many Nigerians are not getting the kind of support that they need from the state level, and that means that we will see more prices going up as Christmas is getting closer in less than 3 months.
Well, now are they? What do you think? Maybe the president easing the influx of rice from Benin, because if that comes into the market, the price will drop, because there's not going to be scarcity. We have enough rice on the market. Then the price will drop some way, somehow. It's not a permanent thing I'm talking about, because you want to protect the local farmers who at the moment are not able to go to their farms because of all these kidnappings and the killings that seem to be going on. So what do you think government will have to do there?
Well, you're quite right. Would this new administration work differently when it comes to the former president that actually locked the border because of the influx of the rice, like you talked about, and other products coming into the country? Definitely, I think growing the local rice would have been the best option, but you must be able to give enough. And part of what they're expecting is the Dangote refinery will be able to do more fertilizer as well, because we need those fertilizer to be able to produce more of what we need. But the question is, if this new administration is really, really honest, when it comes to supporting farmers, the first thing is known that the word bandit or farmer herders crisis is not the right word. They must be identified as terrorists, and when terrorists are operating, you must also remember that it is not just kidnapping. Food security is one of the biggest threats in mankind.
Of course. And that's when we have people here, some people who think that because maybe it came from an impoverished home or whatever country, and now things are going on very well with them, they think that, well, anybody who comes here shouldn't be allowed to, and all that stuff. I don't say that people should just illegally come in and all that. No. But people given the fair chance to apply, and then, because when there is no food for your children, and then you need to move on to another country, because you cannot sit down to say that you are looking at your children to be hungry and die. No, that's why people move. And that's why when our leaders sit down and think that everything is all right because they are sitting in the presidential palaces or in their nice homes, driving their nice cars and having their whatever businesses, and virtually siphoning the funds of the state, then I get so angry. And I call for all sorts to happen. But people think that at times I'm going bonkers, but I'm not. I know people agree with me.
You're quite right. I think when we talk about the crises of the problems, most of the time, something that we are probably against, the current administration, or we are not. Yes, we are concerned because we have our loved ones that are hungry. They need to be taken care of. And if you go back again, April this year, the Nigeria annual inflation rose to 2-digit, 22.22. The previous month, as the price of food continued to rise, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. And if you think from April to now, things would have changed, but rather the inflation has remained elevated in what is called the Africa biggest economy. But as we know that is African biggest economy, takes us straight to the next conversation. How come Nigeria lost the bid to AFCON for the 2025 AFCON? Nigeria is not going to even be hosting it in 2027. Kenya and the other countries will be hosting it. These might have to do with the food security, but most importantly, the security itself in the country.
Wow. It is true there, because they will look at it that if you cannot actually cater for your own people, then how do we bring people into the country that we need to protect, and how do you even deal with them? So I agree with you 100%.
And Nigeria actually had a joint bid with Republic of Benin, but has failed to sell through, as the Confederation of the African Football CAF has announced Morocco as the next host. Nigerian joint bid with the Republic of Benin has failed to sell through, as the Confederation announced Morocco as the host for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, while Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania has been named the joint host. I was asking this morning before coming on air, where will you invest your country, invest your money? Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, or Uganda? It seems many people have chosen Kenya as the best destination for investment.
Wow. So maybe Morocco is hosting in 2025, and then 2027 Uganda Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania are hosting it. Maybe 2030, hopefully, things might have calmed down, and then Nigeria and Ghana can host it. We are brothers, aren't we? Well,
well, that's if the economy of Ghana can still hold on to that.
Listen, Starr Radio UK. Now, let me bring you this one, which you've not captured yet, but it's an ongoing row between the former president Obasanjo and Afeni Ferry. Leaders. Now, Pan Yoruba Social Political Organization Afeni Ferry has lashed out at the former president Olusegun Obasanjo for disrespecting traditional rulers in Oyo State by ordering them to stand up and sit down. They said there was an event in Oyo State where when Obasanjo and Governor Seyi Makinde were entering the place, he told the traditional leaders to stand up and then told them to sit down. Now, some people have been calling Obasanjo enemy of the Yoruba nation or Yoruba group. Now, can you tell us a bit about that, Yomi?
But many Yoruba people doesn't even believe that he's a Yoruba man, because they think that Obasanjo's mother was the Yoruba, the father is from the southeast, and but he has lived most of his life as a Yoruba. He actually talked about being Nigerianness as against his Yorubaness. Maybe that is why he actually disrespected, the royal fathers. What was the reason for that? We don't have the audio clip here, but it was in the local language. But what he actually said during opening of some, construction work that are completed by the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde. Obasanjo is an elder statesman, was invited, but he actually told the royal fathers, if they were not even in the public, we would have probably said this was in the very private place. This was in the open public with glaring cameras and all kind of different medias, and he actually told them to stand up and sit down. That was why many Yoruba people are now questioning that, this particular man is not even the man from the Yoruba side, because you would never see anyone speak to the Obas. Afeni Ferry, as you talked about, the social PAN group in Yoruba, the PAN Social Yoruba Social Political Organization, has now asked the former president Olusegun Obasanjo over this incident that took place around the 15th of September, where it actually rebuked the traditional rulers. They are now ordering them to stand up and sit down. A lot of music have come out of that. A lot of mimic have come around that. But the question now is, these has gone a little bit of reaction in the Yoruba people, and Afeni Ferry is now asking Obasanjo to apologize. You would think that Obasanjo would have done so 10 days ago, but Obasanjo is very, very adamant. He hasn't come out to apologize.
Well, he's not come out to apologize. Is it the reason why he's not standing for the quest of the Yoruba nation, where they think that we have to have or be on our own? So if he is respecting the leadership, or the royals that we look out to there, then somebody will say, yeah, even your own leadership is disrespecting them, so what about the ordinary person? But listeners, we want to have your comments on that. It is Starr Radio UK, bringing the time now to 11:37. My sincere apologies for those of you who would have loved to see Mr. Olayomi Koiki's face, but please just bear with us. If we want to do that now, we have to restart the whole system, but just bear with us. Now, we thought that maybe Tinubu's quest to the Chicago courts or the U.S. courts might have stopped the request by Atiku to get his transcript and certificate or whatever things pertaining to the Chicago University. But it looks like that's not happening. But Atiku is planning fresh suit against Tinubu. Tell us more about that, Yomi.
Well, like I said, whatever is in that Chicago result or whoever was there, Atiku is now, like you said, the legal team of the People's Democratic Party, and the presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has filed a motion to challenge President Bola Tinubu's plea for Chicago State University not to release its privileged document in his academic record. A special advisor to Atiku on the public communication, Shuaibu, spoke that the legal team had up to 48 hours to respond to the motion. Last week was when the Nigerians and Atiku team were expected to get their hands on this document. I believe Chicago has prepared a document. They're just waiting for the court to give the go-ahead. And it seems that Thursday last week, things were pushed again as Tinubu continued to use whatever means from his legal team to stop Atiku because that is going to create bad image for him. But the magistrate Jeffrey Gilbert last week ordered Tinubu out matter to provide all relevant but a non-privileged document to the applicant within 2 days. That is still the question. Will the new woman looking into the case allow Atiku to this? We would have to wait a little bit more. But it seems many Nigerians are now asking, what is President Bola Tinubu literally hiding from whatever was there in Chicago? Some have now advised, if you have to be in a university or polytechnic or technical school, make sure you have your record in details because it might fight you in the years ahead.
Well, for Nigerian leaders, the past and the present one, there some of the past one said he couldn't find his certificates. This one who says I can't let them release the transcript to you. So it's quite an interesting one there. Let's see. Maybe we'll ask what we call Basanjo to get them to do it. Do the diligence to that. But listeners, Starr Radio UK. Before I let Yomi bring you the rest of the stories, the DSS have arrested Shiites. A spokesman Musa has said. Do you have any information pertaining to that, sir?
Not at the present. I don't have any details of such at the moment. But we'll see if we can find anything around that, and I'll let us know should we bring anything around that area. Yeah, okay. Let me bring you a sneak view of what they are saying. This official of the Department of State Services have arrested spokesman for the Islamic Movement of Nigeria, known as Shiites, Ibrahim Musa, with his family and associates, demanding its immediate release. Now, Musa, who is the editor-in-chief of the Al-Mizan newspaper, was reportedly weeks away yesterday by the DSS at Malam Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano. Al-Mizan, a weekly news magazine published in Hausa, also issued a statement yesterday announcing the arrest of its editor by the DSS. We'll be telling you more about that as and when we have more information pertaining to that. Yomi, thank you very much. Now, let's go to Yomi for the rest of the stories making the rounds. Over to you, sir. Well, we go back again to Ondo State. We now can confirm that the reason why they are trying to bring down the deputy chairman from the new update coming, the feud or the problem between Akeredolu and his deputy, it's all about the 2024 governorship election. That is coming from one of the headlines, this morning as we go into what is happening in the business area this morning. Women demand more roles in the maritime sector is one of the headlines. Marketers urge federal government to address rising gas prices. The Nigerian Association of the Liquefied Petroleum Gas Marketers has called on the federal government to find ways to ensure stability of the gas prices and make it available to the common Nigerians. So we hope the government will be looking into that. Let's touch more on business and then prepare to go into what is happening. Oil price climbed to $95 per barrel, but as many Nigerians know that we do not have the capacity to refine this, and this is one of the major reasons why the NLC insists that they will go ahead with the indefinite strike. Nigerians continue to subsidize it until the new administration came in and say we can no longer subsidize it because we don't have such money. Once again, human capital development will curb brain drain unemployment. Many Nigerians are moving out of Nigeria, while those in Nigeria are trying to find out what they can do when it comes to either working in the private or the public sector or setting up their own businesses as well. But the Nigerian Economy Summit Group has now stressed the need for the public and the private sector stakeholders to promote and ensure human capital development. This was in a statement from the group. So many statements I've read, so many statements we have been told, so many meetings, but the question is what becomes the end of these? It's all talk show. But let's hope this time around the Nigerian Economic Summit Group will do at exactly what they are saying. The statement actually came from the chairperson of the Central Organized Committee, Amina Minor, stressed the need for the country to find a way to retain its best brains. Well, I'm sure many Nigerians would love to remain in Nigeria and help Nigeria, but when even the president has not returned back to Nigeria 6 days, Tinubu departed United Nations Summit in New York but he has been unable to return back to Nigeria. 6 days after leaving New York in the United States, where he attended the 78th United Nations General Assembly, President Bola Tinubu has still not made it back to Nigeria, leaving Nigerians wondering about his whereabouts and stoking up rumors that the president does not consider himself as being accountable to the people he was elected to serve. Mr. Tinubu arrived in New York on the 18th of September, departed the U.S. last Thursday around 8:25 p.m. local time using the JFK airport. He has so far failed to even communicate his itinerary. I mean, imagine Rishi Sunak not returning back after the UN, and we don't know where he is. I'm sure he'll probably have to prepare his resignation before returning back. But since this is Africa, and many Nigerians are probably more concerned about attacks on those that want a better Nigeria. A pattern are all too similar to all of his predecessors. Muhammadu Buhari was used to extending stay outside the country, but this time around, we are not even getting any message from the spokesman of the president, Ajuri Ngelale. And I'm sure by the time he comes back, he's going to phantom something to Nigerians. So let's move straight again. This is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we continue to monitor with the economy of Nigeria, the question is what will be done to make sure that many Nigerians have opportunity. Palliative continue to be distributed in Yobe State to household in 6 of the 17 local government. The question is, what happened to the rest of the other local government? I'm sure many will be asking. Strike. Organized private sector are now begging President Bola Tinubu, the Nigerian Labour Congress, to pity Nigerians. It reminds me of Timaya says, politicians pity Nigeria. The organized private sector of the Nigeria has urged President Bola Tinubu's government and the Nigerian Labour Congress to factor in the well-being of more than 200 million Nigerians and avert the strike planned for October 3rd. It said the two should work together in the interest of the nation's economy, which the strike would definitely bring a lot of problems. On Tuesday, the NLC have announced that October 3rd will be a total shutdown from the airport to other places, but the declaration followed the expiration of a 21-day ultimatum earlier. We hope President Bola Tinubu will return back to Nigeria and deal with the problems, because that is the reason why he was actually brought in, to fix the problem, not to run away from the problem, staying somewhere in France without no reasons, and many Nigerians would like to know. Let me take you straight now to what is trending on the social media this morning. Once again, this is still the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. As we continue to ask, why many Nigerians are bitter when it comes to the current situation of things. There's so many reasons why Nigerians are bitter. They've also put their anger right inside many other Nigerians. As I can tell you right now, coming live from Abuja, the vice president currently in charge of the country while the president is away, have arrived at the banqueting hall of the presidential villa in Abuja to attend a public lecture and symposium to mark Nigeria's 63rd independent anniversary with the theme actualizing the vision of the renewed hope for social economic development through effective development through effective leadership. Well, I'm sure Buhari did 8 years, and I'm sure so many of these kind of statement was presented to us, but we now know that Buhari failed not just the economy, failed in security, failed in protecting Nigerians. And as we go straight into that, we now touch on some other things as well. Momo says Nigerian politician did Saudi Arabia and Qatar have the same oil. Nigerians' oil is even sweeter than their sweet crude. Oil derailed the progress of this country is a question by Dotman, but Momo said Nigerian politicians did what the Saudi Arabia and the Qatar have the same oil. As we go straight, as good. Simon Ekpa, always remember to stay 1 kilometer away from Nigeria State and the Federal Secretariat in Biafra. This is coming from the government in exile of the Biafra. As we go straight to see what is happening more. 99% oppressed. Operation Name and Shame the worst bank in Nigeria. Wow. I'm sure we remember some of the banks here until the government actually intervened. When you want to use a different bank, you are being charged and all that have stopped here in UK, but I'm sure in Nigeria, many will name different banks, but we won't name those banks. We'll probably leave that for our listeners to decide. I'm going to take a couple of more from the thread of this morning. Yorubanes remember Chief Obad Adedeji Ogunde. He was an actor, a playwright, a theater manager, a musician who founded the first contemporary professional theater company in Nigeria. These are some of the brains that we have in the Yoruba. Ogunde married more than 10 wives. I'm not sure anyone want to try that this time around. He hadn't married those wives for any reason. He actually married them so that they can work with him in his theater project. He joined the Nigerian police force in 1941 in Ibadan till 1943. The police force then posted him to Dental Police Station, Eputemeta, where he joined the African Initiated Church, the Church of the Lord Aladura in Lagos, where he created an amateur drama group, the African Music Research Party, in 1945. He died at the age of 73. So the question is, as we say all the time, he was born on the 10th of July, 1916. Many will say he actually was born just as Nigeria was amalgamated in 1914. Announcing his death on the 4th of April 1990 in London, England, precisely at the age of 73. May so rest in peace. And these are some of the icons and some of those that started what we call theater that many have now used to move forward. Let's talk about one more, and I'm going to come back again to you. And that is going to be the reactions of Nigerians on why the president has not returned back. Well, it's unfortunate that we can't see my images. I'll see if I can have this. Is somebody is actually, Nigerians are very, very interesting individuals and human beings. There is a maize as a human being, then roasting another maize. So you can think of that. And there's another maize that is now, putting a little bit of air to keep the fire burning. So we have three maize. One is the one that is rolling the maize, which is another maize, and there's another one that is putting a bit of air to it. Well, Tinubu is busy commodifying the naira. See how he's doing it. Well, interesting. There's another one with a skit maker that is very popular in Nigeria, and sometimes the reaction also comes. She una see in do surprise stuff for France. I wonder who he really wants to surprise. Well, maybe he has to just stay in France and recharge and come back home. Someone says he's actually helping the Chicago University to hide his academic record. Another one said the man expressly said he will continue from where Buhari stopped. So how is this a news? Star Radio UK, 11:52. I will come back again to you in the studio.
Listeners, Star Radio, my sincere apologies for us not being able to bring you the image from the North London studios. As I said, it's due to an update thing that if we touch it now, we will lose Olayomi Koiki's voice, so we have to just go on with it. But it's quite an interesting submission presentation there this afternoon. But this morning, my apologies for that. Now, but the president, at least the spokesperson should tell you if he's taking a break. Yomi.
Oh, well, I think they're just trying to avoid all that now because, if he's taking a break, the mock question will be asked whether, he hasn't done even a year and he's already taking a break. So they'll rather not say anything. And then when he's about to fully return, then they will release a statement.
But I think, when is the Nigerian Independence Day?
Back before the first, it will be very... I'm not too sure if the president will be spending the first time of his tenure outside when the independence is just this weekend. And today's Thursday, so that means in less than 72 hours, the president should return. And if he's going to return, he has to return on time. That means whatever he's doing, he has to leave France on Saturday. So we might get probably a statement tomorrow from Ajuri Ngelale.
Okay. Listeners, we'll be having that statement tomorrow, God willing, and we'll be seeing Mr. Olayomi Koiki's face, lovely as he is. I'm the only person seeing him this morning. It's unfortunate that you cannot see him as well. But let me say thank you very much for this wonderful update as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay then, so we'll catch up later. Bye. Okay, listeners, it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I sincerely apologize for loss of image of Mr. Olayomi Koiki. We are sorting it out, and God willing, tomorrow you should have him on. Let's take this quick social announcement and a couple of commercials, and then we'll continue with the program. Stay tuned. I'll bring you some lovely tune though, but after this commercial, stay tuned. The family, the Christian community, friends and loved ones of the late Apostle Mark Nyaku and Mrs. Victoria Nyaku wishes to invite friends and loved ones and all sympathizers to a 1-week observation at the Numa Christian Center, 87 Beddington Lane, Croydon, postcode CR040D. The event will take place on Friday, the 6th of October, 2023 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Buses 466 and 463 ply that route. And if you want to travel on a tram, Beddington Lane is a stop for you. Also, there's going to be free parking there. For further information, please contact Evelyn on 075-5483-8421, Kojo 073-7592-8737, or Sheila on 079-8358-1818. Come and mourn with us, even as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Mark Nyaku and Mrs. Victoria Nyaku. God bless you and see you all there.
The app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Welcome back to the program Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 3 minutes to the top of the hour, and it is the Thursday edition of the morning show. I'm Archie, and as I did say, I apologize sincerely for the lack of images when we were bringing this Olayomi Koiki. It's updates from Nigeria, but let's enjoy this song from Wuta. It says country hot. Well, which country is hot now? All the way African countries are hot. But just a quick one from there, and then I'll be opening the lines for you to add your voice to the discussions wherever you might be. So wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't you go away. Enjoy this music, and I'll be with you.
Hungry man say fix the country. Bellefou say fix yourself.
Well, we say fix the country. That's what we're telling our leaders. And they tell you, fix yourselves. Well, the NLC, I say, they're going to be embarking on an indefinite strike. Fix yourself. And also what's happening there? Price of food stuff. Rising to 31%. Well, what is happening in other African countries as well? I'm going to be bringing that your way in a moment. Wherever you are, stay tuned. Don't you go away. Antonio Dedeji, massive good morning to you. Lots of hearts and loud to you. You know what I'm going to do for you? That music I will bring it into the tail end of the program, the full length of it. But now let me open the lines for you to join in the discussion this morning. 0208-133-2257 or 58. Those of you in Canada, the US or Canada, 001-718-303-2737, 001-718-303-2737. To text or WhatsApp bars is 075-396-1744. Twitter or X, yes, at Starr Radio UK. Email address is info@starradiouk.com. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages as well. Starr Radio UK, 12 o'clock. Let's move on to some other stories making around this morning. But I promise you one thing for sure. Before the program ends at 12:30, I'll be bringing you our music and then we can bow out gently and lovely. But now, let's move on to other parts of Africa. Let's look at what is happening there as well. Now, Ethiopia Orthodox Christians celebrate Meskel Festival with prayers for peace. I mean, Ethiopia has been one of the countries that have been ravaged with war and war and war. But we hope to see what's going to happen there. Now, Abidjan Expo showcases Africa art and digital revolution. Well, that's one of the stories making the rounds. If you are involved in that, enjoy it as well. But in Burkina Faso, transitional government claims foiled attempted coup. Boy, oh boy. Now, Burkina Faso transitional government claimed on Wednesday evening to have foiled an attempted coup d'etat the previous day, almost a year after Captain Ibrahim Traoré came to power in a push. Now, in a statement broadcast on national television, the government informed public opinion that a proven coup attempt was foiled on September 26th by Burkina Faso intelligence and security services. At present, officers and other alleged actors involved in this destabilization attempt have been arrested and others are being actively sought. Now, continues the government, which deplored the fact that the perpetrators of this attempted push had the dark intention of attacking the institution of the republic and plunging the country into chaos. On Tuesday evening, thousands of people took to the streets of the capital, Ouagadougou, in response to a call from supporters of Captain Traoré to defend him in the face of rumors of a push that were circulating on social network. Now, asserting that it wanted to shed all possible light on this plot, the government regrets that officers whose oath is to defend the homeland have strayed into an enterprise of this nature, which aims to hinder the march of the Burkinabe people for their sovereignty and the total liberation for the terrorist hordes who are trying to enslave them. In December, the military prosecutor's office had already denounced an attempt to destabilize the regime and announced the arrest of a military personnel. Well, those are some of the stories making the rounds in Burkina Faso this morning. Wow. That's a nice way to be putting on your mask, you know. When you have that on, it's your mask that you put on. So what about that? Okay, you can see that. I can see that. Well, in Gabon as well, now the Biden administration on Tuesday suspended most non-humanitarian aid to Gabon after a military takeover in the country last month. That was at least the second this year in an African nation. The Secretary of State Anthony Blinken announced a pause in certain foreign assistance program to Gabon pending a review of the circumstances that led to the ouster of the country's former leader, President Ali Bongo Ondimba. Now, Blinken said in a statement that the suspension will not affect U.S. government operation in the oil-rich Central African nation. The statement did not elaborate on what U.S.-funded programs will be affected or how much money will be placed on hold. The Gabon is the second country to have seen a military takeover following the overthrow of the government in the Niger earlier this year. The U.S. also suspended some aid to Niger, but has yet to formally determine if what happened was a coup. The interim measure is consistent with steps taken by the Economic Community of Central African States, the African Union, and other international partners, and will continue while we review the facts on the ground in Gabon. Blinken said, "We are continuing U.S. government operational activities in Gabon, including diplomatic and consular operations supporting U.S. citizens." Earlier this month, Gabon's new military leader was sworn in as the head of state less than a week after ousting the president whose family had ruled the nation for more than 5 decades. Now, why did the U.S. not say anything about Ali Bongo's or the Bongos, Odimba, whatever they call themselves, reign, and the fact that if they've been there for that period of time, that people should see a reflection in their activity, that they are leading the country very well. They never said anything about that. The fact that he was still ill and still threw his hat into the ring for a third term, or is it a third or fourth term of the presidency, they never said anything about that. But now that the people decided, no, we think what happened during the election was a wrong move, that virtually we are of the view that the opposition might have won the election, and there was some underhand dealings that went on, and he was declared a leader and therefore overthrew him. Now they come to say, you know what, we're placing a sanction on you. But if you want to be diligent, then we want the Western world, advanced countries, to say that when the leadership are not towing the line, they are not serving the people the way they're supposed to, we want to hear your voices saying that you are not doing the right thing. Because if you don't say it, and then some people who are thinking that, look, the best bet or the best way forward is to kick these people out and then try to see whether we can salvage whatever is left, you come against them, then I don't think that you are doing the right thing at all. But listen, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It's quite interesting what goes on, because we are always calabash in hand, begging and begging and begging that it takes how we should go about issues. But what do you think about all that? It's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, the Gabonese new Prime Minister has outlined plans for national dialogue. The Gabon's military installed Prime Minister Raymond Ndong-Zima on Wednesday outlined plans for a national dialogue to be organized next year, which he said will pave the way for drawing up a new constitution. Now, speaking at a press conference almost a month after a coup d'etat which ousted President Ali Bongo, he said an appeal for contributions towards the dialogue will go out from next week. And I think that is one thing that opposition and those who are pro-government should all put their hearts together, because it is the interest of the majority of the people that we are talking about. We are not looking at me, myself, and I, which most of our leaders are involved in. And therefore, whenever they are signing any deal or negotiating any deal, so far as they have a benefit or going to benefit from it, or their families are going to benefit directly or indirectly from that, they will say, yes, that is good. So though it's not going to benefit the nation as a whole, they think that, yeah, it's good. Yeah, we signed a deal. And you ask yourself, what percentage is the country getting? And they tell you virtually zilch. Like Ghana's oil deals and all those negotiations that have gone on. Now, it says everyone has something to say. Men and women, old people, young people, people in housing estates, people in towns, in villages, everyone has an opinion, and that's normal, he said. Ndong-Zima said he aims to put forward a summary of these contributions by the end of January, which will provide the working basis for the national dialogue to take place, hopefully, between April and June. Why do we have a limited time to do this? Because we can't go on forever in a transition situation with a military command, he said. Now, we are a civil society, we belong to institutional bodies, and we must respect the clauses of these bodies. So, he said, well, whatever we're going to be doing is interim, and therefore we need to act swiftly so that we can put all these things together, and then, you know what? Get our way forward to maybe getting out of this military reign. get into a civilian reign or regime, right? Okay. Now, Namibia has suspended imports of South African chicken due to avian flu outbreak. All right, and so if you're in South Africa, you want somebody to chop lots of chicken. Well, that's information coming your way from there. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio. Okay, it is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's move on straight to some other stories making their rounds this time around in Ghana as well. 9 minutes by the top of the hour at the time, the morning show, the program. Their rapport with protesters, don't see them as troublemakers, shrug to law enforcement agencies. But do they even listen to them at all? And the institutions, everybody seems to be a master of their own. I'm going this way, you are going that way. Everybody's doing whatever they want, as we see the EC doing. I was going to say INEC. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice Strike has entered the police and treated, the police and other law enforcement officials to endeavor to build a rapport between them and protesters as citizens. Now, Commissioner Joseph Whittle said the agencies doing this enable them to appreciate the rights of such protesters and not see them as troublemakers to facilitate trouble-free demonstrations. In a press release issued on Wednesday, September 28, September 27, the commissioner, among others, were also recommended that the law enforcement agencies, in all their considerations, must facilitate the realization of the freedom of assembly and other protected rights unless restrictions are reasonably necessary in a democratic society. Because if you're not giving the people the chance to vent, then when anybody comes and say that, you know what, I'm going to be your advocate, I'm going to be your champion, I'm going to get in there, I'm going to kick them, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that, they will all follow the people. And that seems to be the telltale sign. That seems to be the template that is being used. That is used for uprisings to happen. But I don't know, our leadership seems to be sitting aloof and thinking that, look, everything is fine. But I say it all the time. Remember what Ali Bongo said. He said, you know what? I will not sit down for what is happening in other African countries to happen in Gabon. And what happened a few days later? So think and think again. On Thursday, September 21, the police announced that they had arrested 49 people who showed up within the vicinity of the Jubilee House at the 37 Military Hospital to participate in the hashtag Occupy Julo B House demonstration. In a press statement, the police indicated that these suspects were taken into custody for unlawful assembly and violation of the Public Order Act. The police noted that the arrested persons disregarded court documents served on the organizers' Democracy Hub to refrain from embarking on the planned demonstration. In a quote, it said, "We would like to state that the police do not take delight in preventing any group from demonstrating at the service, as the service has a track record of providing security for demonstrations in the past. The exception in this case is the police disagreement with organizers on the venue. The Jubilee House being a security zone, parts of the statement read, the police urge the general public to disregard any invitation to take part in any unlawful demonstration until the determination of the matter by the court on September 26th. But lawyer and former Tamale Central MP Inuza Fuzeni criticized the police over the arrest. Now, the Public Order Act is a 10-section act. Offenses under the act have been provided. The persons who commits the offense under the act have been provided. The power of the police to arrest without a warrant has been provided. So in any other offense under the act, it must be on notice. You must issue a criminal summons the only time that the police have the power to arrest without a warrant have been provided, he explained. For this reason, he said, what the police had done, arresting people without a warrant, was clearly unlawful. But we say we live in a lawful society, a civil society. We're practicing democracy, or as they call it, the rule of law. Which law are they adhering to? Listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. 13 minutes past the top of the hour, and one of the scathing stories making the rounds this morning. Let me try to bring that one. And then we'll move on That is a statement made by Alan Chermantain, who has said that, the chairman of the MPP allegedly said he has spoken to him, and said he was okay, but he said that he wasn't. But independent Alan Chermantain can't win presidency. That's what Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo is saying. Alan's North Regional Campaign Team declared support for Bawumia. I will make a significant difference with floating voters. Alan Chermantain is also saying that some people behind the curtain in MPP have more influence than ministers. And who is he talking about there? Interesting. But listeners, it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Let us now move on to other parts of the world to have a look at some of the other stories making the rounds this morning. We've got another 15 minutes to bring the program to a close today. In other stories making the rounds this morning, a Travis King has arrived back on U.S. soil from North Korea. Yesterday we had information coming through that they said they were going to deport him. Now U.S. soldier Travis King has arrived back in the U.S. after being expelled from the North Korea following his 2 months detention there. He was shown on video disembarking from a plane in San Antonio, Texas, as at about 01:30 Eastern Time. That's 05:30 GMT. The 23-year-old reconnaissance specialist illegally crossed into North Korea from South Korea in July. Before arriving home, Private King was transferred into U.S. custody in China and then flown to a U.S. military base. Now he was detained by Pyongyang until being returned to American custody. The U.S. media captured the moment he arrived on the U.S. soil, as images appear to show Private King being escorted by officials who met him on the ground at the base. Now, while detained by Pyongyang, North Korea media said he had fled into its territory because of inhumane treatment and racism within the U.S. military. Private King is expected to be taken to the Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, according to a defense officials speaking to U.S. media. Officials say he will be medically evaluated before any disciplinary action is taken. On Wednesday, a senior administration official said that after months of intense diplomacy, Private King returned to U.S. hands and his family was contacted. We can confirm Private King is very happy to be on his way home and is very much looking forward to reuniting with his family, the officials added. His mother, Claudine Gates, said in a statement via her spokesman that she would forever be grateful to the U.S. Army and its partners for a job well done. But if you want to flee, you flee to maybe Pyongyang thought they could get something from him, but they didn't get anything. The U.S. and North Korea do not have diplomatic relations, and Sweden's embassy in Pyongyang has historically negotiated on Washington's behalf. On Wednesday, a Swedish embassy spokesman confirmed that Stockholm had acted within its role as a protective power for the U.S. in North Korea during the negotiations. Once in China, Private King was met by U.S. Ambassador Nicholas Burns, who said Beijing played a constructive role but did not mediate the release. Private King was on duty with the U.S. Army when he crossed the North Korean border. Well, he was going to be put on some farm and he will be doing some work. As the people who have traveled to North Korea, they worked for hours until they are tired, and some died there. But while it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, we hope that he receives whatever help that he needs to bring him to that place. Now, in other stories as well, and a very sad one, distress call to the BBC led to the rescue of 6 women trapped in a refrigerated lorry in France. Now, 6 women have been rescued from the back of a lorry in France after BBC helped track them down and alerted the police. The 4 Vietnamese and 2 Iraqis thought to be migrants were trapped inside, panicking and struggling to breathe. One of them spoke to the BBC from inside the lorry. The BBC then helped to contact the police, who stopped the lorry. Now, French police have arrested the lorry driver. They have also opened an investigation into a suspected human trafficking operation. At around midday on Wednesday, my phone screen lit up. It was a message that read, "There are some people who crossed the border from France to England in a refrigerated van." Before I could finish reading the message, a call came in. "Are you in Europe? Please help. It's urgent." A panic voice rang out. I felt cold all over. The tragic story of 39 Vietnamese migrants found dead after suffocating in a lorry trailer back in 2019 in Essex was still fresh on my mind. Now, I didn't know who the caller was, but believed he knew me from when I covered the Essex lorry deaths, as a lot of Vietnamese people approached me that time. I asked the caller a few questions, but quickly became frustrated at not being able to get the information I needed. This is what I learned. There was a group of about 6 people in hiding in the lorry. Its license plate number was unknown. It was as was its location and the direction it was heading in. All I knew at this point from that caller, or what caller had told me, was that the vehicle was in France, but seemed to have turned around and was no longer going towards its original destination, the border to England. It was told that 6 women were in the trunk of the lorry and that the air condition started to turn on. Those inside were very cold and were panicking, but they were still able to contact the outside world, and the caller put one of them in touch with me. It's so cold, it's the cooler, the cooler keeps blowing. That's what they were saying. A young woman texted me from the lorry, which was carrying bananas. She said the lorry was sealed with an iron bar. She also sent me 2 short videos showing the scene inside. One video showed a dark compartment and a stacked up to the roof where the cardboard boxes contained fruits, leaving only a few dozen centimeters of space for them to sit on the floor. There was a cough, and a young female voice said in fluent English, "I can't breathe." The woman told me they got into the lorry at around 30 hours the night before. They had since spent more than 10 hours in there and started to feel uneasy when their location data on their phone showed that the lorry had changed direction. Without much time to think, I contacted colleagues from the BBC and reporters living in France. At the same time, a reporter from the French newspaper Le Monde in London was also informed, and he immediately alerted his colleagues at the Paris editorial office that specialized in immigration. The woman was able to share her live GPS location with me, from which I saw the lorry on the E15 highway near Dresse, north of Lyon. Then I asked a colleague in France to help contact the closest police station to the lorry, and they were able to get in touch with them and send over details they had. Now, so you ask yourself the question, what are the push factors? What is making people take these risks? It is not because of bad foreign policies. There are times, I was talking about the fact that when our leaders go for negotiations, I know that Nigeria has got lithium, Ghana has also got lithium, and all those stuff. And when we go into negotiations and our leaders don't put their foot down, as if we don't have good negotiators to say that this is what you're taking from us and this is what we want. And again, even when they strike a good deal, what do we do with the monies that comes in? Do we serve our people, or do we just waste it? So you see that they undertake a venture, one party undertakes a venture, the other party comes and then abandon that venture and is there rotting away, and the taxpayer continues to pay for it, and they come to say, you know what, we don't have money. But it's quite interesting. But I'm waiting for the day that we go to the polls as Africans, and then you vote with your conscience, and not because somebody comes or hails from your your tribe or your no. But you look at the policies that person, or the track record of that particular person, and then vote for the person. And when the person is not behaving the way they're supposed to, we get the military to get them out, or their own party out them, as in this place. Now here, you see what happened when they said Boris Johnson was having a party and all sorts that was happening. It was a part that is what we call proper democracy. And even this one has still got its flaws. But with what we are practicing in Africa, my goodness. It is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. We're going to be bringing the program to a close in the next moment. Our flagship presenter gets new social media rules. And this pertains to Gary Lineker. Well, what are they saying? High-profile presenters should be allowed to express views on issues and policies, but stop short of political campaign. That's what the BBC have said. Now, new rules have been published for BBC flagship presenters following a row over Gary Lineker's social media posts. It comes after a review into BBC's social media guidelines was published by the former ITN boss John Hardy. Now, formerly Twitter, by saying the new rules were all very sensible. Those who work in BBC News and current affairs, such as news presenters, are already subject to stricter rules around impartiality when using social media. The flagship program include Match of the Day, which Lineker presents, plus The Apprentice with Alan Sugar. There will be a particular responsibility to respect the BBC's impartiality because of their profile on the BBC. So we hope to see. Well. But it's all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Now the final story, as I did say. Okay, a few there. Now, police officers widely misusing body-worn cameras. Let me bring you that one before I bring you the last program. Now, police officers are switching off their body-worn cameras when force is used, as well as deleting footages and sharing videos on WhatsApp. Now, information coming through by the BBC has uncovered more than 150 reports of camera misuse by forces in England and Wales, described as shocking by a leading officer. In one case, siblings faced a 2-year legal battle over footage showing officers' use of force against them. Now, the Home Office says the police use of cameras must be lawful and justified. The rollout of body-worn cameras, costing at least £90 million over the past decade, was intended to benefit both victims and the police, protecting officers against malicious complaints and improving quality of evidence collected. But during a 2-year investigation, BBC obtained reports of misuse from Freedom of Information requests, now police sources, misconduct hearings, and regular reports. The cameras were introduced to improve policing transparency, but we found more than 150 camera misuse reports with cases to answer over misconduct recommendations for learning or where complaints were upheld. Cases in the most serious allegations include cases in 7 forces where officers shared camera footage with colleagues or friends, either in person via WhatsApp or on social media. Images of a naked person being shared between officers on email and cameras used to covertly record conversation. Now, footage being lost, deleted, or not marked as evidence, including video filmed by Bedfordshire police, a vulnerable woman alleging she had been raped by an inspector. The force later blamed an administrative error. Switching off cameras during incidents for which some officers faced no sanctions. One force said an officer may have been confused. Really? Interesting. But listeners, it's Starr Radio UK to the final story, and then we bring the program to a close this morning. Croydon, a boy 17 has been held over killing of a girl with bright future. The police have been given an extra 24 hours to question a 17-year-old boy arrested over the fatal stabbing of a 15-year-old schoolgirl in Croydon. The much-loved girl with a bright future died after being attacked with a foot-long, 30 centimeters, a knife on her way to school during morning rush hour on Wednesday. The boy, who is believed to be known to the victim, was arrested an hour later. Detectives now have until Friday morning to charge or release him. Now, cards, candles, and more than 40 bunches of flowers have been left near the scene, and the girls' schools paid tribute to its valued friend and pupil. Now, one woman who works nearby and who grew up in Croydon laid flowers by the police tape. She said, "That young girl could not even go to school without being cut down. We all have young teenagers in our lives, in our families. It's just struck a chord." Anthony King, chairman of the My Ends, a project helping combat youth violence in Croydon, was with the girl's family following shortly after the incident and said they were heartbroken. He also said the arrested boy had been known to local community groups for the past couple of years. The security workers, Victor Asari, said members of the public rushed to help after the girl was attacked. He said the blood was coming like water. A lot of people came, everyone came off the bus. The suspect ran away. Everybody was crying and screaming. The girl was on the floor. We tried to catch him, and a lot of people tried to save the girl. I was so shocked. I was shaking. It's somebody's daughter. I finished work but couldn't sleep, so came back. I wanted to see if the girl was okay. Sad one there. But the girl who died in Croydon yesterday is the 15th teenage victim of homicide in London so far this year. Of the young people killed, the vast majority, 13, were stabbed while 2 were shot. The other 14 are Chima Osuji, Tyler McDermott, Wazabakana Elanda, Renelle Charles, Khaled Saleh, Victor Lee, Leonardo Reed, Andre Salmon, Rahan Ahmed, Claudio George Lafayette, and Stefan Valentine Balaban, Yusuf Mahmoud, okay, and there's Anise Zen and Max Moy Whitley. Now they're 16, 17, and 15. A sad one. But what do we do as a community? What do you think is the way forward for us, or to sort out this issue that is happening? Listeners, this is where I bring the program to a close for today. But I'll be coming your way tomorrow with another edition of the morning show. It will be the Thursday edition of the morning show. But until then, let me say thank you very much for joining us, and God richly bless you, and bye-bye for now. I promise you that song, so let me bring you that, but that will be after this short commercial social announcement, and then we all go away. Stay tuned and don't you go away. The family, the Christian community, friends and loved ones of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako wishes to invite friends and loved ones and all sympathizers to a one-week observation at the Numa Christian Center, 87 Beddington Lane, Croydon, postcode CR040D. The event will take place on Friday, the 6th of October 2023 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Buses 466 and 463 ply that route. And if you want to travel on a tram, Beddington Lane is a stop for you. Also, there's going to be free parking there. For further information, please contact Evelyn on 075 5483 8421, Kojo 073 7592 8737, or Sheila on 079 8358 1818. Come and mourn with us even as we celebrate the lives of the late Apostle Mark Nyako and Mrs. Victoria Nyako. God bless you and see you all there.
Hungry man say fix the country. Bellefou say fix yourself.